Seated firmly at the top of the pound-for-pound rankings, this all-time legend has carved a path littered with victims across 4 weight classes. With an incredible record of 41 wins, 31 of them by knockout, and 0 losses, he's evolved into the most ruthless force in boxing today. A true generational fighter who seems unstoppable. Today, we look at the moments before and after fighters have stepped into the ring with Terence Bud Crawford. The kill list begins with Hank Lundy. The trash talk between WBO light welterweight champion Crawford and the outspoken American fighter started well before the contract was even signed. Their rivalry kicked off a month earlier in New York when they crossed paths on an escalator heading down to Chase Square at Madison Square Garden for the official press conference. Sparks flew from that very first exchange. Though reserved, Crawford admits that he wants to knock Lundy out for all the trash talking he has done before and during the promotion. Lundy, though, feels he's better than anyone Crawford has ever faced and intends to prove it to him. Fast forward to the final press conference, which took place in the same location. The war of words started once again. When both men hit the podium, it was all about respect, but that quickly changed when the two men posed for face-to-face photos. Words were spoken and a hard push from Crawford sent Lundy spiraling back, and that generated a scuffle where both men had to be separated and then cut out early from media interviews. Fight day finally arrived, and from the onset, Lundy was fast and sharp, being the more aggressive fighter, as he had promised a first-round knockout, whereas Crawford was patient, studying every one of his opponent's moves.
Well, for Crawford, it means something totally different. I mean, he's
active movement from Lundy, and
bottom twice right there.
And we're getting a firefight right to start round 1.
I think Hank said he's going for a knockout early, and he is showing that in how he started so far. Sometimes he does start a little bit slower, does the feeling out. So if he comes in there and he's aggressive, why not get these rounds on the
action-packed first round. Trading to end the round, a left hand from Lundy.
After the opening rounds, Crawford had downloaded his opponent, and it was time to let his hands go. His precise jabs taking center precedence. It soon became a game of punishment, but Lundy proved to be tough as nails in the face of Crawford's vengeance.
And Terence moving more, backing up more in this round. Right hand that was landing in the first round, they said. Tangled up feet again, and Crawford fights. Be on the lookout for that, please.
good right hand.
And trading inside, Crawford.
Lundy turns southpaw.
There you go.
One thing you see, and certain things that you just know as a fighter, fighting like the first round. He's taking his time, and he's picking his shots right now.
Barrett and Christina punch. Top Rank is the promoter. Fighting Pride of Omaha. Comes out, lefty again, and Lundy, lefty also. Gamesmanship, ring generalship. Hank looking to land the left hand. Hand ducking and slipping.
Well, Mike, you know, styles make fights, so Lundy is definitely giving Crawford a different look. He's giving him looks that he never, and that ability to. I'm surprised that
And a left hand, and that's left.
After a crushing knockdown, Lundy got back on his feet only to be sent into a heap by the angry but precise Crawford.
Lundy swinging, wild, crazy, that's what Crawford thinks. Moving down goes Lundy. Down.
Crawford teased his wounded foe as he bagged his second consecutive title defense. Lundy's arrogance made the normally mild-mannered Crawford brutal. Speaking of brutality, on April 20th, 2019, British legend Amir Khan accepted Top Rank's offer to fight Crawford for the WBO welterweight title. In the lead-up to their fight, Khan talked a pretty good game and annoyed Crawford by criticizing the level of opposition the American has faced. What Amir Khan understandably forgot when making this statement is that in 2013, Terence Crawford beat Greatest Prescott by unanimous decision. In 2008, the very same Colombian ruined the young Khan's undefeated record by knocking him out in one round. They finally met in the ring, and it was time for the sweet science to back bitter trash talk. In the first round, Crawford wobbled Khan hard with a right hand, and it immediately became a demolition affair. Khan found his rhythm over the next couple of rounds, working his jabs and keeping his distance. But the fight's momentum was all Crawford's, and he was cruising toward yet another dominant victory.
From Crawford.
Yeah, I don't think he's recovered.
He's in position, isn't he? There it is. A lead right hand from Crawford, and he comes with another.
The speed of Khan, so he's okay with Khan shooting that right hand. He's looking to counter him on the way in.
The pounding from Crawford was devastating, but the battered Khan withstood the onslaught, but only for a while.
That right hook, that's the shot that Crawford tried to
good body shot by Crawford.
Trying to set the right hook up.
Goes to the body again, and then double orthodox stance now, and clubs with a right hand, sweeps across the belt line.
Left hand of Terence Crawford, he's setting it up.
There it is, and there's a looping right as well. Now southpaw. This is what Crawford wants.
In the sixth round, Crawford hit Khan with an accidental low blow, and Khan's trainer Virgil Hunter called for the end of the fight, handing Crawford a controversial technical knockout win at Madison Square Garden in New York City.
Crawford trying to drop that right hand, man. He's trying to catch him in between his shots.
After the fight, Khan insisted, saying, "I would never quit. I'd rather get knocked out." But here's how Bud saw it.
Well, I seen Amir Khan's face, and he was shaking his head, and I was getting disappointed the whole time because I knew that he was looking for a way out. Amir just kept shaking his head, and I was like, "Oh man, he about to quit." And I was right. That's what happened.
More than all of Crawford's foes, who eventually submitted to his big red button, Jose Benavidez Jr. showed immense bravado. His undefeated record of 27 wins and 19 knockouts gave him extra confidence. Benavidez Jr. challenged Crawford in Corpus Christi, Texas, months before their fight, accusing him of ducking a potential showdown. Crawford then invited Benavidez to step outside before cooler heads prevailed. This time, they will settle the score in front of a raucous crowd who will be cheering on their hometown hero. Finally, the stage was set for Crawford's first defense of his WBO World Welterweight title. At their first weigh-ins, both made weight, but it was straight after they stepped off the scales that chaos ensued. As the two stood face-to-face, Benavidez Jr. continued to trash talk before shoving Crawford backward. The champ, known to have a temper, loaded up a hellacious right hook and swung wildly. Thankfully, Benavidez Jr. was able to avoid the punch, which, if it had connected, could have spelled serious trouble for Crawford. Police flooded the stage as the two men were separated, the ugly moment showing the genuine disdain between the fighters. Continuing with clapping back at the champ, Benavidez Jr. released a not-so-subtle shot after he got back to his dressing room. Crawford was ready to teach this loudmouth a lesson, but it was not to be easy. Finally, the bell rang for the showdown of ages. In the earlier rounds, excellent body work by Crawford helped to set the stage for the later rounds. Nonetheless, the arrogant Benavidez pressed forward.
Body shot right there with Crawford.
Again. Wasn't successful earlier in doing so. Let's see what Benavidez comes up with here, and Crawford looks to unload.
This is exactly what Crawford needs to do. He needs to stay close, work the body, block and counter.
Benavidez with an offensive output. Crawford comes right back. Short left hook from Benavidez. Benavidez a little more willing here in round number 10. And Crawford that they want to see.
Crawford doing a good job in recognizing that Benavidez is trying to counterpunch every time. Which is smart by Terence Crawford. There it is.
In the 12th and final round, Crawford applied an uppercut to Benavidez' chin to knock him down the first time just 50 seconds before the end of the fight. Once Crawford smelled blood, it was all over. Consecutive rights were unleashed by Crawford to put him down a second, and saving Benavidez was in the hands of referee Celestino Ruiz, who stopped the fight with 18 seconds left.
Declaring the winner by way of technical knockout, still the undefeated WBO welterweight champion of the world, repping Omaha, Nebraska, Terence Bud Crawford.
After the fight, Benavidez confessed he's the best of the best. I feel like I did a good job.
It is what it is. It's boxing, you know. You have to go back home and train harder. Put my hands up.
Is it
what it is, huh?
Is it especially tough because you were just 20 seconds away from the end of the fight?
I thought I was winning, to be honest with you. I didn't feel any power punches at all.
Finally, it was confirmed that Crawford would fight Errol Spence Jr. for the undisputed welterweight titles on July 29, 2023 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was a fight between two undefeated fighters and two pound-for-pound residents. This fight was one of tough competitiveness, and both fighters engaged in some back-to-back at the press conference.
And a great performance. Make sure you bring your season for Saturday night, because we're going to have a crawfish boil. We're going to boil his ass.
Finally, the stage was set for two titans of the welterweight division. First, the ring was Terence Crawford, accompanied by rapper Eminem to the hit anthem Lose Yourself, while Errol Spence Jr. came out to Big X to Pug's song Texas. From the opening bell, Spence threw punches at a high tempo, while Crawford, reserved like a predator, stalled his opponent through the opening rounds.
To give away some in that jab, at moments, you know, we see the two combination punches. Yeah, letting his hands really good.
To the head and the body.
In round two, Crawford upped the attack. Towards the end of the round, he landed a jab followed by a snapping combination, and Spence was knocked down for the first time in his career. Spence came back undeterred. He swung big hooks, while Crawford covered up and waited like a sniper, countering menacingly.
Spence again bothered. Keep that motherfucker fucking. Pro middleweight and light heavyweight Derek James, Floyd Money, both in attendance here tonight.
He started off really good with the jab. Double, triple jump.
Lean in on
From Crawford.
It's sublime.
Yeah, the accuracy, the speed.
The ringside checked and Spence, but it was decided that the beating must continue. By round 7, Crawford was ready to annihilate the only man standing in his way of becoming the undisputed welterweight champion, so he started throwing knockout shots. He dropped Spence for the second time in the violent affair with a short uppercut. When the 9th round started, Crawford was ready to fillet the big fish. He began connecting on unanswered punches, all landing flush and with power. In a fight where Spence had already been down 3 times, Crawford's 9th round onslaught of hooks forced referee R.B. Doc to wave off the action at 2 minutes 32 seconds in the fray.
Undisputed welterweight champion of the world, Terence Bud Crawford.
Crawford joins the list of Manny Pacquiao and Sugar Ray Leonard as fighters who rose to the top of boxing without all the extra bravado. After becoming the undisputed welterweight champion, Crawford would move up a weight class to challenge Israel Madrimov for his WBA super welterweight title and win the bout by unanimous decision, with scores of 116 to 112, 115 to 113, and 115 to 113, making him a 4-division world champion.
115, 113. And Steve Weisfeld has it. 115, 113. All 3 scores go to the winner by unanimous decision from Omaha, Nebraska.
So where do you think Bud ranks among boxing's all-time pound-for-pound greats? Let's have a discussion in the comments down below. As always, if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on our next video.